Hello, guys. How we doing tonight? Can you all hear me all right? Can you see my screen? Awesome. Hopefully everyone's doing well. We just had a really big day. Check, check. I love that. We just had a pretty huge day in trading. And sorry if my voice is a little weird. I am super tired. Whenever I gotta reset my clock for my sleep, I just don't sleep for a day, and then it's super easy. So, super tired for tonight. We'll feel better tomorrow. But NFP week, Monday NFP. If you had to tell me one trading day that would be my favorite trading day out of the whole month, it's super easy. It's Monday NFP, always. Because price tends to trend on days like these. And will go down very soon, right? But it's also important for me to point out that I told you guys during the outlook that if we traded below this and invalidated this, I'm going to be bearish. Yes, I was bearish, but that is my long-term trend. So on the short term, can I look for a retracement into this range? Yes, we also discussed that. So I just wanted to point it out beforehand, right? We marked out specifically the other previous new week opening gap. Let me just bring it on the chart right now. This new week opening gap is going to be a big objective for me in the short term as a retracement. But now that we've traded below this and validated this SMT, it's very hard for me to trust this as a long-term low, if you like that. Sorry, guys, let me just mute that. But I was still looking for longs today. So we'll look at both opportunities as we always do, but personally I was looking for longs as soon as we took out this liquidity, was looking for shorts previously, but you guys will see that we didn't really have time for that. Let's go in replay mode here and look at the day. Very beautiful day in terms of Power 3, AMD, open, high, low, close, however you want to call it, right? We had a very nice accumulation here. Let's just mark it out. We also traded all the way up here, so I'll just include it. But we had a very nice consolidation, accumulation, however you want to call it, followed by a New York manipulation right here, right at the open, continued into our higher time frame target. So that's pretty textbook for me, right? We have our structure telling us, hey, we're engineering liquidity. This is where London framework forms. Our Asian framework forms as well. And then right at the open, we expand aggressively lower. This is an impulse lower from that point on, especially since we have the confluence from that higher time frame objective. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for longs here. So we have very beautiful accumulation, manipulation, followed by that very slow but steady distribution higher, right? So very beautiful day. New week opening gap, statistically speaking, we should fill this gap to at least 50%. And when I say this, I'm talking about 95% of the time, and also 70 something percent. See, this is where I should have right statistics open. 70% approximately of the time will reach our max fill. What does that mean? The maximum point of which the new week openings gap is filled on Monday. So for me, new week opening gap was a huge objective. We also had, as always, confluence from our 70% framework of London. It just makes life easy, right? Whether you know those statistics or not and just know the framework, it's just nice to have the statistics behind it telling me, hey, 70 something percent of the time, we should hit this. So when we see high resistance price movement like this, and we'll go look at the entries that it offered in a second here, but when we see high resistance price movement like this, I can trust that we should reach London high, Asia high, and we also should reach the new week opening gap fully filled up to 70% of the time. Fully filled is, I believe it is in the high 80 percentage. And as I said, Monday highest probability. So just taking all that into consideration helps me hold trades longer, I guess is the best way to put it. But definitely some very nice price action Monday NFP. So clear. Sorry guys, but it is really, really my favorite day. I removed the red line here. You know what? Let's actually bring it back so that you guys can follow along on the lower time frames as well. So as we can see, right at the open, right? Did we have any news? I don't even remember because Monday and FBA I trade at 9:30 no matter. Yeah, no, we didn't have any news. Well, actually, not no matter, but most cases. Is that all NWOGs or specifically Monday NFP? All new week opening gaps. I wasn't even filtering. You know what? It'd be actually kind of interesting to go look at Monday NFP. So let me open this guy up. You know what? Why not? I'm always saying I want to share more statistics with you all. Time to show it. Okay, so that works. So now I should just click on this. Oh, awesome. All right, so opening gaps. Let's go look at the new week opening gap. Well, actually, we don't have news filtering for new week opening gap. Well, you know what? Let me take a note of that. I'll add that in. Add news filtering. Thank you, Speacock, for making me notice that. Or NWOGs. See, that's something that's fun of having a founder of a product also be the coder. I want to add something. I don't need to wait for someone. I don't need to pay someone. I just do it. So that will be added in the app. And if you remind me next week, we'll be able to look at it. Always a pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure. As we saw, right? No specific news. So we start trading at 9:30. And what did we see specifically at 9:30? Well, for those of you with a short bias, you might have seen the same thing I noticed early on. Is right on that 9:30, we had an initial Judah swing higher formed with SMT. That is a framework to short, guys, by the way. I do want to be precise. I like to filter my opportunities based on my bias. So now you guys understand that once we take out this low, I'm expecting at least a retracement into our higher time frame range to the upside. So I know that my biggest opportunities will be to go short, will be to go long. See, must be 5-line change. Yeah, NJ, it's actually 1-line change to be fair. So it's gonna be an easy change. But yes, you know, so for me, I was looking at my high probability opportunities to go long. But would it be a high probability short to this objective? Not really, because ES already reached it. Now I did remove it. You know what? Let's bring him back for a second here. What level were we looking at? I think it's this guy. Not at all. We were way too far. Okay. So I'll show you guys. ES, of course, already reached it previously. So that's already SMT. But we had further SMT that ES had already, well, previously reached it in that day as well. Right. So basically, we already hit that objective. So I can't really use that as a target to go short on an opening low. Now, is this a trade that you could take? Sure. Is this a high probability trade? Perhaps, but it's not my model. You're recording sound right? I am. You know, it's a good thing to check, and it also made me check. But I changed my mic for a second here. I ordered a new mic. It sucked. Pretty much, that's the best way I can put it. So I had to send it back. And since I changed all of that, I forgot to put it back. But no worries, we're good for now. But as I was saying, once that higher time frame objective is met, and you know, I removed it once again. I just can't right now. I do not know why. So let's bring it back so that we can actually follow along correctly on our 1-minute chart. And let's go back in replay mode so we don't see the current day's level that just opened. Once this level is met, what do I need for a trade? Well, same thing as always, guys. I need a bullish breaker in the sense because I'm looking for longs in this case. So I need a breaker block. I saw someone, I used to be like that too, where I didn't have the levels here and I actually had 2 opacity on these, and it looks so much better for standard deviations, I feel like. But I'm always going to get questions. But in case you guys were wondering, I saw someone in chat today. I don't remember who it was, but they had their drawings like this. And I saw a lot of people in chat also take this trade. So might not be the hardest trade I have to define here. Saw a lot of people today trading it, but very straightforward, right? When did we form the breaker block? As soon as we traded above this, right? Market structure shift here. And so your entry is right after we formed a fair value gap. And yes, I was also looking for entries on this inversion fair value gap for people who are questioning it. But what do I always say? I don't pick and choose my entries. I take the first one that it presents itself. And we traded into that fair value gap before trading into this inverse fair value gap. And as per the 3PD array stop loss rule, you have fair value gap here, inversion fair value gap to the left, and then you have this order block. And since it's part of the swing low, we always place our stop on the swing low. Pretty straightforward stuff as per entry and everything. And then where to target? Well, it seems cherry picked now, but I was actually targeting the 930 open as my partial because it was perfectly within that 2 to 2.5. Now, of course, as I said, this might be a little cherry picked hindsight for the people who aren't used to seeing this. So let's actually go about it mechanically. Go on a 5-minute chart. We're going to use this range. And now whether you use, here we're going to look at it, whether you use that swing high or that swing high, doesn't really matter because we're going down to a 1-minute chart here. And we're going to be looking at that first premium in efficiency. And as you can see, it is the same regardless. So your mechanical partial would be right here. Now, the thing with this level is, does it offer enough risk to reward? Well, yes, it does. I thought it did not. Well, see, that would be your partial. So quickly in and out, taking a partial at 1.7 there. If there is a fair value gap with a gap at the top and bottom of it, do you still count it as one PD array? So you mean, for example, this fair value gap, right? So is this a fair value gap just as much as this is one and this is one? Am I understanding your question correctly, Alex? With two gaps. What do you mean with two gaps? So in the sense that there wouldn't be a third gap here? I don't, one fair value gap and two gaps. Well, I see both as, I see all three of these as PD arrays. So basically, I'm not sure I understand your question specifically. Just send me a chart in general after this call with the example you mean. But any fair value gap, I rarely group them, and sometimes I group them visually, like this, for example. But if I'm counting my stop loss, I'll still count them as two PD arrays. But yeah, don't be scared. Tag me in general after this call with a chart image, and I'll help you out. Mechanical partial was hit quite quickly. Didn't even come to stop loss you. Not even scared here. Well, actually really scared, but still went all the way up to a London high, which would have been my next take profit. Now, a lot of people might say, why not take the most recent range, right? The external of that range. Well, look at this. This is all low resistance liquidity, right? And in close proximity. And once again, data tells me I can hold until here. So that's what I'm going to do. If I always hold my setups until here, 70% of the time, they're going to be reached. 30% of the time, it's going to come back down. And if it comes back down, I'll just trail my stop. Like, for example, after we take out this high, my stop is being trailed. Well, I mean, as soon as we took out this high, right, after my partial is met, as soon as we took out this high, and more importantly, closed above it, my stop got trailed here. Because now, the new range we have is this. And then we just adjusted this. Once we have, this is reversed. Let me just reverse this real quick and place the correct low. Once we trade back down into this kind of this range, expand past it, and then we close above it here. Now I have a new range. And let's move this. Now the new range I'm going to be referring to is this one. So where's my stop loss going to be? Here. So always allow for retracement, but I also am able to read price in a certain way. Oh, okay, yeah, you mean volume imbalances. All right, yeah. I don't regard well, if these are gaps, it depends on the asset, right? Because if those are gaps on a 1-minute chart of a stock, then it's a lot different. And let me actually bring this guy for the people on YouTube. This is actually a pretty good question. Sorry if I'm showcasing your drawings. But basically, this is one fair value gap, and there might be another fair value gap above here, right? Depending on the previous candle, this would also be a fair value gap. But I never regard volume imbalances as PD arrays for my stop loss. Yeah. And if they are truly gaps where there isn't even a wick there, truth is, I'm just gonna use those as targets most of the time. But yes, I won't count them as an individual PD array. The one fair value gap as a whole is the PD array. My pleasure, Alex. So pretty straightforward, right? I mean, it's a textbook entry, and then we went for our objective. It was a slow grind up, as I said, data providing a little more confidence, and then we went for Asia high. And as soon as we dove into the new week opening gap, you can see 4 minutes later, we fully filled it. So it's pretty hard to give a final objective here because as we see on trending days, there's no reason to get out of the trade. But if you would have, it would be my final stop would be the final fill of that new week opening gap. In cases like these, I just didn't have a contract left to take profit. So I fully closed my position as well at this level. I say as well because a student told me that's exactly what he did. But if I'd still have a contract, I wouldn't be against holding an extra runner. And the rule is always at 4, I'm going to close. I took this rule because of prop firms, right? And that's the 4 a.m. candle opening price. 4 p.m., sorry. I took this rule because of prop firms, but truth is, I like this a lot better. Because when I swing trade, sorry guys, when I swing trade, I don't go in a 1 minute to take my entries. Some people do that, right? They'll take their 1 minute entry and they'll hold this throughout the week. I don't like doing that personally. So I just don't. I mean, it's stupid, but it's really that simple. I just don't like to hold overnight. I don't like the margin changes from overnight holding. So I just close all my trades at 4. That is a rule that I've stuck with, even though I'm almost no longer trading on prop firms. And I mean, we can consider shorts at some point, guys, but really there's nothing. Right? I see breaker blocks form. I see potential entries to go short, but there is never a reason to consider it until London high has been taken. And even after London high, I'd want at least also current daily high to be taken, which it's pretty hard to see here, but we'll see this wick right on the opening candle. This is the current daily high until it was taken, of course. And then once this is out, look at the time. Am I going to consider taking a short here? Well, let's say you did. Well, you would have gotten stopped out somewhere here, right? I'm looking at this breaker block entry here. This is the first breaker block I see after our level being met. So yeah, if you would have looked for a unicorn short after we've just been expanding the whole day like this, then yes, you would have lost. But honestly, to me, it was pretty obvious. I didn't consider any additional longs because for me, I was in at the beginning. I mean, I always tell you guys the same thing with this, right? If I missed this, I missed it. And I'm not even looking for any additional trades. I just missed my trade. And that happens. But the way to fix that is not to look for a trade after, because I don't have data about those. Because the rules of my model are that after a win, I'm done. So why would I have a second win there? So that's just a question of personal preference, but I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at breaker blocks to form, right? This breaker was successful. This breaker was successful. I'm just looking at the breaker blocks that formed after this one. And I'm seeing this one, which was successful as well. How do I define if it's successful or not? I look at the extreme that it formed, right? Perhaps the entry, 3 PD array stop loss rule would have placed your stop at fair value gap. Oh, see, this one would have failed. So this last one that we drew up, because your stop would be here, entry would be on this fair value gap right here after creating the breaker, then fair value gap, order block, inversion fair value gap, stop at this low. So this one would have failed. So out of the 4 breakers that were formed before 11:30, right? Important to point out there. Oh, well, you know what? There's another one. So let's just count it in. Out of the 5 breakers that were formed before 11:30, so all bullish breakers. No filtering, no picking and choosing. 1 was unsuccessful, and 4 of them would have given you a successful trade. I'm sorry guys, but if breaker blocks aren't the best ICT PD array, I don't know what to say. Backed by data, always. I'm very excited to bring breaker block statistics to Rice Statistics. I've just been keeping it in the back pocket, and you guys will see why. Uh, Slow and steady, it is going to come. Do we have any questions about the day? I mean, there's nothing really to add here. We might want to say, well, there's no SMT at this low. Well, okay, there is lower time frame SMT first of all, right? So candle to candle SMT, as we know, is lower time frame, but I don't use SMT below the 1 minute. But do I need SMT for there to be a setup? No, I don't. For there to be an A plus setup, sure, but it doesn't matter whether there's SMT or not. So, I mean, I like to always mention it because it's an additional confluence and brings confidence in the trade idea, right? And there's so many times we use it, but I don't need SMT specifically on my entry for there to be a trade. And I mean, I'm not seeing any questions from you guys. All clear. Pretty straightforward day, right? Wake up and long or get fucked. I mean, I'm not going to put it any lighter, right? The markets aren't forgiving. Let's say it like that. My pleasure. Wow. X, you do not even have the trader role. You're one of the OGs that I forgot. So I just gave you the trader role. That is OG. It means you would have had to be in the Discord, yeah, August 28th, 2024. Solid. Before I put the trader role. Well, enough rambling. As you guys might have noticed, a little tired tonight, so we're going to call it a day. Very quick PA review, but as we said, pretty straightforward. One setup. That's the one you needed. I wish you all the best of luck trading tomorrow. We'll have another PA review just like this. Hopefully we have a little more substance. Is it sustenance? Substance? A little more things that happened is what I'm trying to say here, so we have a longer review. But on that note, guys, I'm going to wish you all a great night, and we'll see each other tomorrow. Good luck trading.